Yes. So today I'm going to talk about building visibility through social media. And to do that, the topic is stop that scrolling, a habit that has become a second nature to us browsing on the social media. Left, right, down scrolling is second nature because we have so much of content overdose to consume that we don't realize how absent-mindedly we are consuming content. So to cut through that clutter, what are the few tips and tricks that we as a marketer can do to leverage our brand online? Let's have a look. This is some of the data, just UAE specific, to showcase the amount of time being spent online. 2 hours, 57 minutes every day. You can very well imagine the potential of your brand reaching to that audience, which is almost there 3 hours every day on the platforms that you can connect to. I don't need to harp on the strength of social media. You all are aware of how big an opportunity it is. It is much more than an engagement tool. It is a marketing asset, and you need to use it very, very in a strategic way so that you can build your brand. So let's dig deeper of how we can do it. I always start from the basics, which is finding your niche. Each one of you in this panel over here, each one of you in this room here comes with a different expertise, different product, different service, and different personality. Even if your products are same, your value addition would be different. And that's same for social media. Even if you're there, you should be present in your own unique voice. And that's what you need to find out. What's your voice? What's your value? So this is the core DNA of a brand that we have to understand. One side is the emotional benefits, whether it's bringing joy to you, whether it's warmth to you, whether it's adding any value to you. And second side is the functional benefits which a product would be providing. A pen can be a pen just for writing, or it could be a keepsake. That's the balance between functional and emotional. We have a travel company in the group right now, and while the functional benefit would be creating a package for you, delivering on visa and stuff like that, but the emotional benefit is creating memories for your family, for your business. So when we strike the right balance between emotional and functional, that's when the brand becomes much longer in their relationship with the audience. And think deeper, think about what value you can add to balance this. Otherwise, you will not be able to connect emotionally with the audience. And if you're connecting emotionally and you're not delivering on functional aspects, then it's not long term. So strike the right balance and add your personality to it. So this slide is power loaded with information that will be very useful for you when you are doing your brand DNA. What's the character? What's the language? What's the tone that you will be choosing? The same content can be shared in a humorous way or in a serious way, in an engagement style or in an informational style. Nothing is wrong or right. It depends on your brand core. It depends on your objectives. So stay true to your brand personality. Once you have decided that, then I would strongly advise to find your content pillars. Now, what are content pillars? You get up in the morning and you want to post, and you randomly post. Is that correct? Is that the way it should be? No. You have to plan much in advance of what is your purpose and choose from content pillars relevant to your business. These are some of the ones which I will always go back to. It will vary from business to business, but the core is the same. Educate, the first one, very important. We can educate about our products, services, expertise, all of that. But what we share within the education will be different for, let's say, a health coach versus a beauty salon versus a product-based business. Once we have educated our audience, It's time to engage or entertain. To establish that connection, it's very important to have some fun with it. Create content that engages them in ways that's best suited for an audience. A 16-year-old will connect differently, while a 60-year-old will connect differently. You have to see what kind of entertainment or engagement works for your audience. What about motivation? When we think of motivation, we just think of inspirational quotes and books, not necessarily. An interior decor brand will be very differently motivating you when they share aesthetic pictures of home. It will be very, very motivational for a homeowner. So yes, see motivation as a engagement strategy itself, not just for vanilla content. And lastly, the whole purpose you are there for promoting your brand or your business. Think of hosting a giveaway, a sale, or sharing user-generated content. What is user-generated content? Testimonials or usage of your products by others. When they talk about your brand, that's user-generated content, which you can leverage because it builds credibility. These four are not the end of it, but these four are important content pillars that each one of you can use differently for your content. So you have decided upon that. Now it's time to leverage the platforms, choosing the platforms and engaging with the platforms. When we think of social media, we think of Facebook, we think of Instagram, we think of YouTube, but it's not just that. Social media can vary from networking, from blogging, video sharing, photo sharing, or even reviews like TripAdvisor or Zomato is a review-based social media platform. So if you see, the purpose of each one of them is different. When you have defined your business objective, then only you will see which social media platform to choose from. And the most important thing is research where your audience is present. That's where you have to be. It's as simple as that. Even if as an individual, you might not be using TikTok, but if your audience is using that, then that's the platform that you need to leverage. And I would say, don't stop at one, even though it's a good idea to focus on one, but you are losing out on a lot of potential if you're just focusing on one platform. But at the same time, if you're spreading yourself too thin, that's also not correct. So I would say 2 to 3 platforms is a sweet spot to maximize your social media presence. Work around it, work it to the best of your expertise. You have decided the platforms, but have you thought about the different formats of content that's there? This is just a snapshot of all the variables that's there in the world of social media content formats, from shorts to long video format to short video format, stories, carousels, ebooks, you name it, live. It can be too much to understand at one go. But what I want you to understand is that you don't have to keep creating new content all the time. You have to use 3 tools. One is repurposing of content. An Instagram carousel post can become your Instagram reel. A blog can become a LinkedIn article. So you just have to repurpose content many a times to reach to new audience. Second is to redirect from one channel to another. Instagram story has a very easy tool of links. From there, we have redirected some audience today to this webinar, or we can redirect to a YouTube. That's redirection. And third is cross-pollinating content. What we use at one place can also be used at different place. For example, IGTV is a long video format, which can very well be a YouTube video. So think about this in a holistic manner, and you will be able to save a lot of time and create content that works across platforms. You have done the basics. Now is the time to start engaging. Spark conversations with trends. Staying relevant is one of the most important things of social media. Social media works on the latest trends. You have to be in the moment, which is also called moment marketing. So let me give you an example of a moment marketing. During Super Bowl, there was a power cut, and Oreo responded within minutes with this tweet, which has gone down in history as one of the most popular tweets. You can still dunk in the dark. Very creative, very humorous, very on point. Had it been posted 2 days later, would the impact be the same? No. That's why moment marketing is important in this day and age, where every day is a different context. So don't worry, there are lots of tools out there to figure out what people are searching on, what keywords people are. And these are some of the ones that you can see on the screen that you can use to find content that's most relevant for the keywords. So how do we stay on trend? Definitely hop on the Reels bandwagon. You have heard it and it's correct. Reels are there for some time. But don't worry, you don't have to dance all the time. You can be who you are. You can check the trending music and customize it with content that makes sense to you, but definitely integrate it as part of your plan. Chatbots are here. Integrate it on your website and your social media for a more interactive, customer-centric approach. Think of podcast. Podcast and audio format is the new future. If it is not working for your business, it's fine. Everything doesn't have to be implemented, but if you think it can be, then definitely it's worth investing it. We had also shared content on how to create podcasts on our Instagram. You can definitely check that out as well. And now when I say a trend doesn't mean only features. Trend also means mindset or the vibe or what's happening in your cultural ethos around you. You have to be sensitive as a marketeer. So for example, post-COVID, mental health and well-being is a very, very important and critical aspect. And if you are not empathetic towards it, then you will be on the other side of the fence. And that's not where you would like to be. So keep your content inclusive and mindful. The next one is so huge that I had to keep it away as a separate post because it is the biggest trend. Video marketing is here. Video marketing is the biggest future, and you need to leverage it if you want to connect. So why videos? Very simple. It humanizes your brand. It gives a face to the person behind that screen, whether it's your website or your social media. It just creates a connection with the audience. So all of you, please leave that imposter syndrome and get in front of the camera. Trust me, it's not easy for anyone, not even me. Stop thinking of how I will look, what I will say, how will it go, and get recorded. So you can either go live or you can pre-record. Both of it is fine. See what works for you, but try having a connection with your audience through your personal interactions. If you are doing it individually, there are some great apps like ProTake for recording or InShots for editing that you can use just with your mobile and have a great video. But if you are thinking for bigger value, like a corporate video, then invest in professional help. And it will be totally worth it and it will be used for some time. And as I said, you can repurpose that video. Same video of a 1 minute duration can go as Reels, it can go as IGTV, all of that. So definitely think of it when planning your video strategy. Once you have done that, then what is the whole purpose of it all? Engaging with your tribe. It is the deal breaker. So let's engage. Just posting is not engagement. Let me just say it out aloud. Social media is not a one-way street. It is to have a conversation with your audience. How do you do that? Simple. Pay attention to what they are saying, what's their feedback, interact with other pages. As stated, social media is a community, and you don't want to be that neighbor who stays all alone. You want to be part of the community. So start interacting. Creative commenting, which is my personal favorite, and I will share more on it, and social listening tools. All of these help you know what your audience wants and how to engage with them. So what is creative commenting? We are habitual to saying thanks, nice, all of that, and just stopping there when somebody compliments or comments on our feed. But just don't stop there. See this simple tool of commenting, how if you are in Dubai, you would be well aware of KHD and their humorous tweets and Instagram posts. They have taken commenting and social engagement to a different level. Be it rain, be it school opening, every time they are on point with their sassy tweets. Why so? They are a government organization. They can very well be serious and boring. But they have decided to hold meaningful engagement with our community as stated by them. And that's when the purpose is clear, the content is driven by that purpose. So please use every single feature mindfully. Social listening, as I said, just posting and waiting for miracles to happen is not a right strategy. You have to rework on it based on feedback. And just like your mental health, work on your social health. See what feedback is there, what competitors are doing, what's the trend. And there are lots of tools to do that as well. Next one is a very, very easy one. Networking is part of our culture now. Most of you are from networking groups. So what about social networking? And by that, I mean groups. Facebook groups are huge. So much business and engagement is happening, which we are not using completely. And Facebook is not the only one. There are groups across platforms. So see which one works for you and start leveraging it accordingly. And the last one, very important, is don't stay in isolation. Collaborate, collaborate, collaborate. Why collaborate? Because it adds freshness with collaboration. You bring in new ideas, you bring in new audience. And if the second person, second brand, business owner is talking about your brand, that's building brand advocacy, which you definitely want. And imagine getting engagement and reach twice the number that you regularly do by collaboration. Won't you like that? That's what collaboration does. Collaboration should ideally benefit both parties. It should not be competing, but it should be helpful for each other. Think of this when planning your collaboration plans. It could be contests, going live, interviews, different ways of collaboration is there. So stay open, stay engaged. So this is the last tip that I want to share of how a simple Instagram bio can actually be a deal breaker, how you can leverage it, because end of the day, it is like a website, a portfolio, or a business card. There is SEO for Instagram, and by that I mean adding keyword either in your URL, which is the top hand name that you see on the top, or in your name, either of the two places. If you have the key keyword, which can be your business, like coach, magazine, reality, or beauty, whatever that keyword is, if you integrate that in either of the two places, your feed popping up in explore pages is much higher. Please ensure that you are doing that. Ensure that there is a call to action. Ensure that people know what is being targeted at. And another jargon, ICYMI, in case you missed it. So yes, that's what you can add through link in bio in your Instagram feed, where you connect people to a microsite with most of your relevant content in the past. So don't think of it as just filling your name and a picture, but think it as much more than that. And once you start doing it, you will start seeing the magic happen. So as for everything, keep showing up to build your visibility, to keep growing your brand, and to nurture your relationship. If you are consistent, if you are mindful, then nothing can stop you. So hope I managed to answer some of your questions. And that's me, Anamika from the Brand Tribe. Thank you. Thanks everyone for listening.